What is up, everybody? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It's Wednesday, February 5th, and we are here to talk about the first Dynamite of the month of February. And it was a pretty damn good one here in Atlanta. I feel like the whole episode just like flew by, and for the most part, we got some good bits to get into. But before we break down the nooks and crannies and all the details of what occurred on Dynamite, Reg, you're here. How are you? And what did you think about the show?
It's your favorite rap, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. It's Wednesday. It's Dynamite post show. What we're here to do. I thought it was super fun. Really great way to end the show. We talked about it before the show started on how they could sandwich this show and it could end up being really good. And I thought that the way that they sandwiched it ended up really a good pacing for the show. Like you said, a lot of it just kind of flew by. Like at one point, I'm like, oh damn, it's 6:30. Oh damn, it's this time, and like the show just kept hitting on points that I really liked.
Yeah, man. I'm like trying to decide where I want to get started. So, you know what? Let's get started with the way that we closed out the show, just because it's a little bit fresher in my memory right now. And that was Ricochet versus Swerve Strickland. Now, I think mostly everybody going into this, like we're not expecting this to be a one-off match by any means, right?
No.
But here's the thing though, I didn't really know how they were going to go about it. And now there's a bunch of little factors and things that happened in this match that all of a sudden kind of shook things up here. So, for the most part, I think the presentation, Reg, of Swerve on the show has been like, all right, he's calling himself the most dangerous man in AEW. He's not somebody you often see lose. And it's somebody that's being presented on the show as like, dude, this guy was a former AEW champion. This guy went on a crazy, insane feud with Hangman Page. It's kind of presented a little differently, right? And when Ricochet came in, I feel like it took Ricochet a little bit of a second to find this Ricochet.
Yeah.
Remember when we were talking about his match with Konosuke Takeshita and how it wasn't that good, and we were like, oh no, what's going on with Ricochet? Then once he started this feud with Swerve, this completely changed Ricochet, in my opinion. Like when he came into AEW, I remember my initial thought, Reg, was, well, we don't really technically need Ricochet because there's a million freaking people out here that can kind of do a very, very similar style. Man, I gotta freaking eat my own words right now because Ricochet has completely won me over on Dynamite right now with the psychotic teacher bloody look and him going out there and having this match going literally 100 with Swerve and getting the victory over Swerve. Now here's the thing, he did end up accidentally hitting him in the balls, so it wasn't technically like a clean finish, but it was still a very strong finish that made Ricochet look pretty damn good, but it didn't hurt Swerve is what I'm saying.
No, not at all. Yeah, the Ricochet AEW story and this roller coaster has been super interesting because I'm a long time Ricochet fan. Like I was one of the ones being like, when he gets over here, when the handcuffs comes off, when he does all this, it's gonna be lit. And so when he got to AEW, Denise, we talked about it on our pods, we talked about it on the watch alongs. I was kind of underwhelmed. I came on this show and I was like, what's up with Ricochet? Like, I don't really think he's giving up how he talks and how he, like, if you listen to Ricochet, you'd be like, oh, this guy's the greatest wrestler of all time without even seeing him. If you just see him talk about himself, and if you just see how a lot of people talk about it, me included. And so he came into AEW and it was like, okay, this isn't really clicking the way I thought it was. But then something switched. Like it started, there was that thing of like, yeah, there's a bunch of high flyers in AEW. What's really going to separate Ricochet from Commander, from all these other crazy luchadors? And so he kind of switched up who he was and how he's presenting himself. He doesn't do a lot of flips. He doesn't do a lot of the flashy stuff, but the stuff he does is very high impactful. And when he does do the high spots, it means even more now because there's not so many. So when he does do a shooting star plus or he does do a 450 splash, it hits harder because you haven't seen 10 of them in his match. He spaces it out. He just works like a veteran wrestler now. And this heel thing is added even more. Like we talked about it when he first got locked in with Swerve. The Swerve package has been pretty good. Like Hangman was at a great place, but then he was at an even greater place off of being attached to Swerve. And I felt like that's what this was going to be off rip of, like Ricochet is going to really start cooking because he's going to be with Swerve. There's going to be like some stories. There's going to be like some pointed, this is where it's going. It's not just a guy flipping and a guy talking about how great he is. And so when he started taking on this psychotic role, I was like, great. All of this hitting really hard. That promo that they did on Collision was awesome. The face to face, really intense. Ricochet is showing that like I can keep up on these promos. Like I could do everything that you guys thought I couldn't do. I'm way more than that. And so getting to this match, we're all excited. Like I seen most people for this week being like, in Atlanta, the main event's going to be hard. I can't believe this match is happening. First time in AEW, they have history, but this is really going to hit. And I thought for what we were saying on how this isn't the only match. This is the beginning of what this feud is going to be. Really great start to it. There was that spot that Denise, we all went crazy for. They're both on the guardrail. Ricochet tries to hit him with the Rana. Swerve catches him, power bombs him on top of the guardrail. Disgusting Darby Allin style spots. But I really did love the ending of Swerve attention, the Swerve stomp. Ricochet accidentally, I don't know, hits him down low in the nuts and then hits that. Usually I don't really like this little Ospreay style hidden blade finish, but to the back of the head, it looked devastating. Ricochet gets the 1, 2, 3 and not super clean because he hit him in the nuts, but super clean as in nobody interfered. It was still just these two guys going bar for bar. And I think Ricochet needed this victory. It was the right winner here.
I think so too. I think that they kind of spiced up the story, and I almost feel like we all
Yep.
had the same reaction of like, "Oh, wait, they had Swerve lose." And you know, in
Mm-hmm.
hindsight, we were like, "Okay, yeah, it would make sense for Swerve to lose to keep the story going." But one
Yep.
of the things that you brought up is, you know, we were talking about the character work of Ricochet and how things have sort of changed for him. I feel like it was funny because remember when he first came into AEW, and we were like, "Oh yeah, like the big criticism of Ricochet is he can't cut a promo, he can't cut a promo," and I remember it would make me kind of nervous whenever I knew he was
When he was going to talk.
because I could sense that he didn't have the confidence. So it didn't give me the confidence in him. And I would almost get secondhand nerves watching Ricochet. And now I'm at a point where I feel like I don't feel that exact same way anymore. Like,
Yeah.
sure, he's not going to go out there and cut a promo like MJF,
You can't
right?
compete with Max.
He's not going to do anything like that. Don't get me wrong. Nothing like that. Nothing too crazy. But at least it doesn't make me nervous anymore when he
No.
does get the mic.
That's hilarious, Denise. I think there was a collision here in Oakland, or I saw a show. No, that was in San Jose. I watched him wrestle on Collision, and then he did a promo. It was live in-ring promo, and as he's grabbing the mic, I'm thinking just like you're saying here, Denise. I'm like, I'm so nervous. Like, how's it gonna go? And you could tell that he wasn't. It felt like he didn't know what his AEW direction and character were going to be. So he's still trying to find his way on the mic. And so the promo felt like that. It was like, okay, I'm happy to be here, but I don't really feel super confident in what I'm saying. And now it feels like he's confident in everything he's saying. Really feels like he could stand behind the words. He's not just talking from a script, you know?
So I almost sort of compare it to, so I used to be a theater student, Reg.
Mhm.
Most people know that I choked and was a
Nerd.
terrible actress and kind of, you know, obviously had to change careers. Mexican Nicole Kidman did not occur. But one of the things that I learned afterwards, once I went into like hosting and stuff,
Mhm.
is I took this class and they said one thing to me and it made all the sense in the world. They said, when you walk in to an audition, clearly you're nervous, right? Because you're thinking like, oh my God, I don't want to do bad. I don't want to do bad. They're going to all laugh at me and everyone's going to make fun of me and whatever crazy thoughts you have, right? When you walk into audition rooms. And then they just explained it so simply. They said, the people that are watching you, the people in that room that you're so scared of performing in front of, those people are rooting for you to do a good job.
Yeah.
Those people don't want you to fail. Those people are believing in you in that moment. They want you to succeed so that they can use your talents. And I
Mhm.
feel like when you think about Ricochet, and he probably had this like different mindset. But when you think about Ricochet, where the trust wasn't there, it starts to get into your head, right? If someone's like, the trust isn't there, the trust isn't there, suddenly you don't got the trust in yourself to
Right.
go out there and do it. But when suddenly there's an interest in you and there's an interest in your story and your character development, suddenly you feel like, okay, I matter here. Like they want
Mhm.
me to succeed in this story. Like my talents are needed to move this story forward. And sometimes I feel like all it is this like shift that you got to have in your mind. And I
Yep.
feel like in the last couple of months, Ricochet finally got that, like that switched, went into a different direction. And
Like
we're
he
seeing
knew
it.
what his yeah, like he knew what his character was. Like he was fishing, is finding it out. Now he's like, oh yeah, I know what my place is as a wrestler. I know what my place is as a promo guy. I know what my place is in front of these fans. I get what Ricochet's place is in the AEW sphere. So I think it's really great. Perfect timing for him to get the victory over Swerve. This is going to lead to some big things. And the feud's not over. So this plays an important role. They ended it by Swerve pushed down Prince Nana, stole that very infamous Jimmy Rave overcoat that he used to wear to the ring, an important artifact for Prince Nana. Ricochet looks like $1 million walking out of the ring. I was like, yeah, he
The
did it.
little
Like,
swagger and
yeah,
everything.
I'm
It's like,
like, all
what? You
right,
got swagger? What,
we are
Trevor? What?
here. We talked about it when earlier when Ricochet's AEW run. I was like, AEW World Champion. I don't know. That things have changed. Now Ricochet is in the running with how he's working here, with how he's moving. Him walking out at the end of it, I was like, oh, this guy's a big superstar. He finally gets it.
Yes, that's what I feel like too. And so maybe we should pay attention to that robe and see what story they end up telling there. But that feels like that's going to be like part of the I guess you can say the continuation of this feud and seeing where
Yep.
this goes. So yeah, good stuff there. All right, we got a couple of super chats I got to catch up with. We got Alexander Fitzgerald here who says, I skipped last week's Dynamite. I'm glad I didn't skip this week's show. Great show tonight. To Mariah Mays made this show a must watch. Oh, I can't wait to talk about that. And I'll give an update on how my fire tweet is doing. Let's see. We got Eat Sleep Super Chat Repeat who says, not wrestling related, but Rip Irv Gotti.
Irv Gotti.
If Gotti, got it.
Recipe Irv Gotti. The
Aw.
news came out while we're on the show. People are texting me and stuff. The head of Murder Inc. The reason that you guys know of Ja Rule and all the Ja Rule songs, Irv Gotti is the reason. Like he was the one pushing Ja Rule. He's the reason that Ja Rule was on your radio for like 1,000 weeks straight. He's the head of Murder Inc. Like he's a huge part of hip hop history, and this is a devastating blow.
Was he like an older gentleman or was he
He's in like
suspected?
probably like his mid-50s, but he had a stroke. It was unexpected.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh. We
Mhm.
got switching gears. Crazy 101 says WAW Dynamite Fed could never OMG. Y'all are wildin'. Rafael Garcia says, Reg, question. I saw a clip where someone compared Carmelo Hayes to Bow Wow. After tonight, do you think Trev is the Romeo Miller or vice versa? Man, I haven't heard Bow Wow's name in like forever. I remember
This
when
is
Bow
wild.
Wow was a little kid and he was singing a little kid. He was Bow Wow.
No, he grown now. He real grown. He
Oh,
real
look
grown.
at Google him. I haven't seen what he
Do
looks
you
like
think
in years.
Trev is the Romeo Miller? No, Trev is Bow Wow. Like Ricochet has so many kids and so many people
Wait,
that
he
watch.
looks exactly the same
No,
now.
he looks exactly the same. Yeah, he's
Oh,
just
he
older.
does kind of look a little bit like Carmelo Hayes. Just a little bit.
But
Little
yeah,
bit.
the people that inspired like half of the business at this point is Ricochet. Like everybody's his kid, so he would be Bow Wow, and everybody else would be Romeo, and so forth, so on and so forth.
That's funny. All right. What's that little famous song that he had when he was a kid?
Bow Wow,
What was it?
Bow Wow, you're talking about?
Yeah.
He has a bunch of them. I don't know, 1,000,000 of them.
No, there was one that like was on This Is What I Call Music Now. Now this is what I call music. Which one would be like his most famous song when he was a kid? Because that's the one
Bounce
that I know.
with Me's a song. Maybe the song from the Big Mama House soundtrack. Like he has a lot, Denise. Like he has a catalog, like 40 straight hits. This guy's
Because
rich.
I just remember like there was one that I'm pretty sure was on my This Is What I Call Music album. All right. Roberto Arsenal says, solid show tonight. Great tag match tonight. Great main event and backstage segment. But Toni asked Mariah was the highlight. Oh, I bet it definitely was.
Denise, people really like that.
Water Ortega says, post show
See?
topic. Mariah May, thick, great performance. Eat Sleep Super Chat received says TK just blew a buttload of pyro cash out of nowhere.
That was so
He
random.
Really did. He really did. And Tim Ruza says BTE YouTube page just updated. We getting BTE bucks. Oh, they finally updated. It's been forever since they posted a vlog.
Wow, it's been like 5 years, it feels like, at this point. That's
Because
crazy.
it was right after the was it right after Brawl out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Tenruza. All right, well, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Come on, we're not gonna hold everybody, make them wait. We're gonna talk about Toni Storm versus Queen Aminata. But here's the thing, guys: this wasn't just Toni Storm versus Queen Aminata. No, my friends, this was Toni Storm as Mariah May, and the moment that she came out as Mariah May was a trippy. I felt like she looked just like her, which makes sense because when Toni Storm when Mariah May did Toni Storm, she looked exactly like Toni Storm. So it's no surprise that Toni Storm could do the reverse of it. So here's a photo of what that looked like.
Dude, again, I thought that was Mariah. I was all, why are you putting up a picture of Mariah? What the hell, man?
Throughout the match, the funny part was that her extensions kept falling off. Dude. They were everywhere by the end of it. But this is the picture, though. This one right here. I posted this on Twitter. And let me tell you, hold on, let me give an update on where this picture is at the moment. 137 retweets, 1.8 thousand likes,
oh my
284 bookmarks,
y'all are nasty
comments, and this hasn't even been up for an hour. It's been up for like 40 minutes.
280 bookmarks is insane. There's some nasty people. What are y'all doing with the bookmarks again? Like, you're just looking at this picture and wanking it? That's crazy.
Yo, well, what else did you bookmark for? Like,
there's porn. I don't get it.
Yeah, but it doesn't the porn hit harder when you're like a fan of that person? For a guy, I'm assuming. You're like, oh my God, I love Toni Storm. She's so talented. I'm going to save this picture for later.
I'm grown up. If she's not naked, what are we doing here? There's naked women on the internet. If you're 14 and you're saving that, I'm with you. But if you're 35 and you're saving a bookmark of a fully dressed woman in a fucking wrestling ring, jail.
Reg, I saw your face when Toni Storm was out there wrestling. Look at you, you're drooling. You even had to wipe.
Listen,
like, we're just talking about it. You're already drooling.
There's a lot going on. I'm not gonna say she didn't look great. Let's start there.
You didn't even notice the extensions because you weren't looking north, bro. You were looking south.
That was like extensions. What do you mean extensions? I don't see that. I think this gear looks great. But yeah, it was trippy when she came out. Denise and I were both like, wait a second. Like, our eye, you could just tell we're like, who is this? I'm confused. Like, she seriously looked a lot like her. And just like Denise says, it makes sense because Mariah May did her so well. So like the crossover was easy, but still so trippy to see.
Yeah, and so Mariah May was on commentary. She didn't really like, I think what she contributed here was more so with her face shows because she just looked like utterly disgusted that Toni Storm would go out and try to pretend to be her, which I thought was good, and she did enough to like get the bit over and whatnot. Toni Storm was hilarious in it all. But I also want to make sure that we do shout out Queen Aminata here, because the thing that I noticed about her is that from the last time that I saw her, I felt like she would always just like come out and she would put on a good wrestling match, but that was it, right? Like there was, to me, there was nothing more that went on beyond that. Today was the first time where I felt like I really noticed her playing to the camera and showing more personality, like her doing the bit that Toni Storm does. I thought, oh, that's cute. Like I liked that Queen Aminata showed more of her personality and played with the camera more so than I've seen her do in the past. I don't think I've ever seen her really do that before in the past.
Right. Shout out to Queen Aminata in a pretty tough spot, Denise. Like everybody's been like, Toni Storm, very distracted in that match. You could like almost forget that there's another wrestler in here, but I think Queen Aminata did enough, like you were saying, to get herself over to really let them know that Toni Storm's not just in here with some regular person. She's in here with somebody that could fight. She got a lot of her good bits over. She really got to kind of shine in this, but like people were so locked in, Denise, that they probably don't know that Queen Aminata was in this match. People were just like, Toni Storm, oh my God.
She's like, I was there too, damn it.
There.
Yo, Yo, someone on Twitter wrote, they wrote on Twitter saying like, I'm gonna need Toni Storm to like always wear this gear. I thought the gear was very flattering. I thought it was very good, and I wouldn't be surprised if she maybe tweaked it up a little bit.
What gear on Toni Storm's not flattering?
Oh, that's true. That's very true. But no, this one, she just looked good. She really, really did. She really, really did look good as Mariah May, and it was fun. And we're gonna see this match at Grand Slam Australia. Have you changed your mind as to what you're expecting to see from this? Because the last time you and I spoke about it, we were dead set on Mariah May, getting her win over Toni Storm. But it doesn't seem like you look that confident about that decision.
I'm not feeling confident after the receptions that Toni's been getting and how she's been moving after tonight. I'm like, damn, they're probably going to put that belt back on her. I don't feel confident for Mariah at all at this point, honestly.
But that's unfortunate though. Like,
I know. That's the worst part. Like, it sucks because it shouldn't be like this. Like, Mariah still needs to cook and she still needs to get victories and she still needs to do this. But Toni's fucking hot, Denise. She is on fire right now. Yeah, exactly. On all fronts. And it's just like, with the reception's gonna be, they're probably gonna be the main event. Like, I'm feeling like Toni's probably gonna go over. Yeah.
Oh, damn. And I mean, damn, but
I know.
I don't know what to say because that kind of tears that to me. It's like, we're going back a little bit, and I don't think we should go back. I think we need to move forward and get Mariah May to hit these new benchmarks. We need to see her level up. It can't just be like, oh well, you had your turn and it didn't work out. Because I do think a lot of it had to do with, so much of it had to do with her booking. Like, they kind of dropped the ball, I think, a little bit with Mariah, because what happened after she won the title, remember they had her go out there and cut that promo that was like kind of weird, and everybody was quiet and it was sort of awkward, and they were sort of teasing the stuff with her and Mina Shirakawa, but it took forever to actually play out completely. And then after that, what happened? We went right back to Toni Storm.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the issue. Is it's like, did she even really get a chance to shine, Denise? Did she get a chance to really kind of spread her wings as the world champion? I don't know, but also it's like, Toni's hot right now. I keep thinking back to what you said last week, though, on how it kind of would feel like the Moxley thing. It's like, we know what works. We know who works as this champion. It feels like they're just like, let's go to Toni Storm because we know that shit works. And I don't want to get to that point,
Right. The good thing is that Toni Storm at least is very interesting.
Exactly. That is a big difference.
So it would be different, of course. Not entirely like Jon Moxley, but dang, I just don't know what to do here. I feel like they're kind of stuck in this position of like, shit.
Right.
Do we, continue to risk it? Not risk it, but do we continue to go this direction with Mariah, continue telling the stories there, or do we go a totally different direction? Because you still have another big player in Mercedes Moné. And at this point, can you keep Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné apart from each other? I feel like they are your biggest stars on the women's side of AEW. And at some point, the fans are going to be like, hey, these two girls have been being kept apart. They've been sort of dodging each other. Ooh, stop running for us. Like, give us the good stuff. And the good stuff is Toni and Mercedes. That's going to happen at some point.
And I think that's totally going to happen. And the thing with that is I think that Mercedes chasing Toni feels better. So I feel like Toni's going to be the one that being world champion at the end of this. So it's like, where's Mariah going to hit what happens after this? Say Mariah does win, Denise. Let's forget everything we just said. Where does she go after this? I feel like Toni has more places to go immediately, and we have to build for Mariah. That's not an issue, and it shouldn't be a thing, but it's just different,
You know what? Okay, when I think about let me ask you a question. When you think about the hottest Mariah was, like a specific moment, when was that? Because I have the answer. For me, it was when she attacked Toni Storm with the shoe. When she just went batshit crazy and attacked her all crazy on the stage. That to me was like peak Mariah May right there. That was who she was. If they could find ways to have her be that version of Mariah May, I think that would be the thing that really gets the fans going, like, oh yeah, this is a reminder as to why I liked Mariah May. This is why I was rooting for her to win the title. It was that, and it was just obviously the comedic aspects of her relationship with Toni Storm. But to me, peak Mariah May was that attack on the stage.
talking about this has just gotten me thinking about AEW and how they handle some of their championship reigns. I think it could be just another. This is something they continue to run into is the moment is bigger than the reign. Like Private Party, for example, they had all this buildup, they had all these things. They probably should have beat Young Bucks at a point, but then we did actually get the big moment where they won the AEW World Tag Team Championships. But then afterwards, there wasn't very much follow up. It's like we got the great moment, but what about afterwards? I kind of feel like the same way thing is happening with Daniel Garcia right now. They're cleaning it up a little bit, but it was like that build up, big moment, and then afterwards, it's like, well, what is his reign? What is following up this? What is being followed up with? Kind of feels like the territory that Mariah May might be going to. The moment was huge. We got to it. We got the shoe. We got all the things. We got the great story. One of the best stories in AEW and build it to the match. She won the championship. But afterwards, it's like, well, is there follow-up? Like, are we going to continually to have these big moments with no follow-up? Because does the moment hit as hard if there's no follow-up?
Damn, I don't know, man. It's one of those things. Okay, you know what I'm also seeing this as? This is like the female equivalent of Hangman and Swerve.
Yeah.
The story that you can keep telling is with Mariah and with Toni. You can just keep going and going with it at this point.
But Mariah, like you saying though, Mariah's gonna need something else though. It can't only be Toni. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to think of who else. I mean, there's so many other girls. I mean, Chris Statlander's another one that we kind of saw. I mean, why can't we do like, I would even like to see Mariah May and Mercedes Moné. Like, why you don't have to keep these people apart. I know they're both champions, but maybe you can even do something like that. Like, I'm not opposed to that.
I'm not either. I think there's a lot of spaces for Mariah May, but it's just not looking that great. But it could be another. This would be a big victory for her beating Toni in her home country. So, like, I could see it going the other way.
Well, let me ask you something, Reg. If you had a chance to go out with Mrs. Toni Storm, would you want to make sure that you smelled good?
I would.
Well, let me tell you, if you guys get your date with your Toni Storm, make sure that you smell good with Mando. Nobody likes bad BO. Don't be a heel at the workplace or at home. Instead, be a baby face and smell delicious with today's sponsor of this video, Mando. What makes Mando different? It has whole body deodorant, safe to use anywhere on your body, pits, balls, thighs, folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, and feet. It was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. The solid deodorant stick is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. The spray deodorant is aluminum-free and ideal for hard-to-reach places. All products are baking soda-free and paraben-free. You can choose from a variety of fresh scents like bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code Denise at shopmando.com, SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. Guys, seriously, Mando, check it out. The link is in the description box below. Use the promo code Denise for $5 off. And let me tell you, the second that I got Mando after I was done recording this, my husband was like, hey, I'm going to keep this. Okay. And I'm like, sure. I'm like, you keep it. He likes the products. He's actually been using them and he smells really nice. So hear it from me. You'll smell really good. If you guys do get yourself some Mando, use my promo code. Let me know on social media if you guys do, so I can, make sure to give you guys a huge thank you for supporting our sponsor here on the show. They are a brand new sponsor, so we hope to make them happy here. Anyways, but let's
shout out to Mando.
Yes, shout out to Mando. We got a couple of super chats here, and let's see what people are saying. Let me see where I got left off here.
That's so funny. When the ad was playing, I was thinking, damn, I can maybe get Denise to send me that. And then 3 seconds later, I was like, oh yeah, she has a husband. He'll probably keep that.
Yeah, just legit smelling all of the products as I was doing the video, and I was like, that smells good.
So it stayed in house.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna get some from my brothers too, honestly,
Nice.
because it does smell really good, and from what I've seen and from what I've seen from my husband. So yeah. All right, we got Eat Sleep Super Chat Repeat, who says, Reg, did Toni Storm channel her inner Julie Cash?
Julie Cash. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who Julie Cash is either. Oh my God, if it's a porn star,
I'm like, it could be. God, yeah, you're going so fast. Too fast.
I Googled Julie Cash, and it's definitely a porn star, because now it says Julie Cash, porn star page. Never mind for the rest.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to clear my whole search history now.
Yeah, knock that off. You can't search too fast, because that's probably what it usually is.
Oh my God. No. Okay, well, if anyone goes through my search history, y'all know why Julie Cash was there. All right, we got Tokyo Inushi here, who says, just got out the show. We had a blast. I hope it came off on TV. Wow, what a night. First of all, I'm so glad that you got to go to the show and that you had a good show to attend to. That's always the best. It definitely did come off on TV. I thought the crowd was great tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited for them announcing Atlanta a couple weeks ago, because I know they're a wrestling crowd and they're excited. And you guys are hyped the whole show. That's all that really we want to see as people watching on TV. Really did come off on TV. That was a fun show.
We got Broadway Joe here, who says, so glad Dustin put MJF in his place. Dustin is such a great guy. You definitely shouldn't Google Dustin Rhodes' essay case. No, sir, don't do that. I'm going to stop Googling things, period, because my search history is about to be all sorts of messed up. Broadway, thank you so much for the super chat. So let's go ahead and I'm going to finish out the rest of them, and then we'll go ahead and get into MJF and Dustin. We got Gerard here, who says, Mariah May and Mariah 2.0 were amazing. They have very sinful yet very seductive bodies. Lord, forgive me. Can I have them both for Valentine's Day? Where did this go?
Very sinful yet very seductive. Gerard started getting in his Arthur bag or so. I was like, this guy's a poet.
He bookmarked the tweets.
He did.
Hey, no shame, man. No shame. Well, I ain't gonna shame nobody, okay?
Yep. Can I have them both for Valentine's Day? No, probably not.
Reg.
What happened?
It's at 584 bookmarks.
How did it go up so fast? You said 200 when you said a few minutes ago. That was minutes ago, Denise.
And it's skyrocketed to 3,400 likes since literally minutes ago. 191 retweets.
It's just a photo, Denise. Just one
photo.
I'm
about to post this shit on Facebook too. Hold the fucking phone. Hold on.
It's just one photo, you guys.
Well, hold on. This photo of Toni Storm, aka Mariah May, lol, went crazy on X.
Twitter like that shit.
Hold on. I'm expecting the same love on Facebook, guys.
Yeah, Facebook might even be more, honestly, because they be on some
give
shit
it some love on Facebook, guys. Come on. All right. I should have posted it on Facebook a long time ago.
That's
what am I
crazy.
doing? I'm leaving money on the table.
Left it.
All right. We got Crazy 101 who says, nah, give Toni everything. Sorry, Mariah, but gee, yeah. I feel like I'm not pronouncing that right ever.
Toni fucked y'all up. So funny. Just one bit. Like, we're never going to see her like this again. She's like, let me just do it one night. Really fuck these guys up, and it's over. Did you figure it out?
Yeah, Jiyat is a slang term that is used to express strong excitement, surprise, or admiration. And then I won't read the rest.
Because it's from like, yat damn, right? That's what it's come. That's what I like thinking. Yat damn. Like, they turned it into one thing because people are not original. That's what I thought it was.
We got Rob Herring Jr. who says, what about Mariah versus Athena or Deonna Purrazzo? Yeah, exactly. Like, do that. Like, those are women that are on the table. Use them. You know, Deonna and Thunder Rosa did very well together. I feel like, continue off of that. And Athena, this girl on Dynamite or Collision.
They have a roster. They have some women now that I really think about it. You brought up Stat, Jamie Hayter, Julia. They have like a bunch of people I think could be in this position. I've been wanting Athena to be on the main roster for so long, and I hope that they get to her before All In Texas, but we'll see.
So the picture has been up on Facebook for 1 minute and it already has 2 shares. 2 shares, 2 comments, 9 likes.
Already in 1 minute. People are sick, dude. They're waiting for it.
We got Eat Sleep Super Chat Repeat who says Masa Slamovich has a very kissable face. Yummy. What are
How
we
did Masha
doing
get
on
in
this
this?
show? Oh my god.
How did Masha get involved? That's crazy. Very kissable face.
Patokia says, guys, did you spray your balls today? And if you didn't, make sure you guys get Mando. Shopmando.com, code Denise. Spray those balls. Make sure they smell delicious. You guys are out here trying to get at Masha and all of these people. Gotta have delicious smelling balls.
That's a fact.
All right. Man, all right, where am I at? My brain's all fucked up right now. All right, let's go ahead and rewind to the top. How about this? Let's get into Will Ospreay versus the mystery member of who would be filling in for the Don Callis family. People were throwing out Trent Beretta's name. Some people thought a Gabe Kidd. Some people thought Speedball Mike Bailey. Who else did we throw out there? There was a couple of names we had thrown out there, but the name that it ended up being was Mark Davis, who recently came back from injury a couple months ago, but only made a couple of appearances. And we really hadn't seen too much of Mark Davis, but he's back. He's beefy. He had this match with Will Ospreay. And I guess this means he's back on good terms with Kyle Fletcher, because I felt like the last time we saw them, they were not on good terms.
Yeah, I don't know. They teased not being friends. They teased some things. They're in a few matches and scenarios together where they didn't really get into it. So this was kind of a surprise because, like, going into it, I kind of had a few people in my mind. I pitched the Trent thing. I started thinking about Speedball Mike Bailey. But when they announced Mark Davis, I was like, okay, for the story, if we're talking about purely story, this makes a lot of sense. Like, Ospreay, I feel like Ospreay played the same role as we kind of played of like, well, we don't really know what the deal is between Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. Like, are they friends? Are they still tag team partners? What is this? So for him to have that kind of shocked look as Mark comes out, because he was like, last time that I checked, I think we were in a tag match together. We had some kind of connection and it felt like we were going to continue the thing that we were doing. But now you're over here and it's weird. But Ospreay is one of those. It's game. If we're going to fight, we're going to fight. I thought the match, there was a lot of very interesting, very disgusting bits. There was a pile driver at one point where Ospreay got destroyed, but Ospreay is just a big match wrestler at this point. If he's starting AEW Dynamite, he's probably going to tear it up. He's probably going to get the big victory. And when he locks into I'm Will Ospreay, this is my show, there's not a lot of people that could beat him. Hitting him with the hidden blade right to the face, 1, 2, 3. I thought there was a lot of really great stuff and storytelling in this match.
No, I feel you. I thought this was a fine showcase for sure. It wasn't like, the hottest Will Ospreay match. I mean, we've definitely seen a lot stronger, but it was still a fine match. But really the thing to also get into immediately after this was Will Ospreay brings out Kenny Omega. They kind of bond. They're apparently besties now. Kenny Omega's like, my pal, Will Ospreay, and we trust each other. And I'm like, bro, what was it? Like a week or 2 weeks ago, they were ready to kill each other. And now they're like, oh yeah, we're pals. We're totally on good terms.
Yeah, they switched it up. At one point, Will Ospreay was like, my best friend, Kenny Omega. I'm like, best friend? Where did we get from where we were to here? Okay, I see.
Exactly. That's kind of how I'm feeling too. But anyways, we had Konosuke Takeshita out there, Kyle Fletcher out there. And they just kind of reiterated that they're going to have a match at Grand Slam Australia. So that was pretty much the whole bit there.
Yeah, it was a good way to kind of get us into next week. Get Kenny Omega to do the big rah-rah speech. He's talking about, I'm coming back to AEW next week. There's a big moment, all this stuff. You just kind of needed to get Kenny on the show, I think.
We got Hamburger Helper here who says, forget Toni and Mariah. Reg is looking kind of cute. Heart emoji.
Whoa, wait a minute. I'm not involved in this. Leave me out of this.
Reg did say there was a lot of love to give. So go give Hamburger Helper some love, Reg.
It doesn't work like that. There's a process. There's a form you got to fill out.
Show me your picture. Let me see what you look like.
Show me a picture. We'll see what you look like. There's a lot of bits to this.
Oh, man.
Don't work like that. It's a process.
You should open. Did you ever do those anonymous, the little anonymous game where people would ask anonymous questions to you?
No.
I never did it either. You know, I remember Bill used to do it all the time. And I'd be like, oh my God. I used to get so annoyed. I was like, stop it already.
Yeah, I used to tell him that too. Why are you doing that? We'll be in the group chat like, what is this? But I don't know people like that.
Yeah. Thank God that no one's really doing it anymore because they were getting annoying for a bit.
Twitter.
But you should do one
Why?
because I want to see what questions you get.
I got some weirdos on mine. I'm not doing that.
All right, we got Eat Sleep Super Chat Repeat who says, "Watch out, New York City, Chicago, and LA. That Atlanta crowd was lit."
Our crowds are like, I'm thinking about Revolution, Denise, and I'm like, I hope that we're excited about this show.
Look, don't include me in these LA crowds.
You're included. It's your home. It's your home.
I go with the flow. If the crowd is quiet, I'm going to be quiet too. If the crowd is loud, I will be loud with the crowd, but I will not be leading the charge.
I'm just such an in my own world thing that a lot of times the crowds don't determine me. But if we're lit, I'm about to be lit too. And sometimes LA, like Denise and I continue to say, just too cool. We're just too cool for all this. Like, I'm not going to cheer. I'm chilling today. I have on a leather jacket today. I'm not cheering.
It's so funny. It's so different because I remember I told you that I got hockey tickets for Christmas for my husband, and he went to a hockey game in Orange County and he went to a hockey game in LA, right? And he was telling me how at the Orange County game it was all families, everyone was really into the game. And then he went to the LA show and he was like texting me because I didn't go, I don't want to watch the game. He's all, this feels like a social event. He's like, this is a social event because it's just a different vibe. It's a different vibe. And it kind of echoes like through everything that you go to, whether it's a concert or a wrestling event.
I started to notice it when I would go to PWG in Reseda, and I'd be like, this isn't really like a wrestling crowd. There's like a famous actress here. There's like it's like the LA shows are just different. Like the energy feels different. People are from LA, and you just never know what to get or expect on it.
Yeah, you're just there like, impress me or I won't cheer.
Dude, yes, because an Oscar winner's here for some reason. You know what I mean? It's like you got to be on a different level because fucking somebody might be in the crowd.
Yeah, but I like it when the crowd gets into it because then I feel like it's just more fun. I don't like boring crowds. I don't like to be in boring crowds. It makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like I suck. Like you.
Yeah, like I'm doing it too. Like I'm a part. Like if I'm in this crowd, you're talking about me too, and I don't want to be a boring fool.
I will never forget the Las Vegas Double or Nothing show. Worst crowd no, not the worst crowd I've ever been in actually, but one of the worst crowds I've ever been in. And I just remember going like, bro, I could hear like the person over there's conversation.
Yeah, they need to, if they're gonna do weekends worth of shows. If you're having Thursday to Sunday, you're trying to do that, always do the big show on Saturday night, especially if you're in Vegas. If I've been in Vegas for 5 days and you're doing a Sunday night show, I'm going to be dead by that time. That's just how it works. I've drank so much. I've been out in the hot sun. Like by this time, I just want the show to be over. You know what I mean? You're just like, damn, get this shit over, dude. I'm done.
No, that Las Vegas heat hits differently. I got a headache from this kind of heat.
That's oh, you want to go hang out again? No, I'm going to lay down. It's too hot. I need to take a nap. My brain is melted. That's what Vegas is like.
Literally, I'm still trying to recover from my Las Vegas trip. Like I was just telling my husband, I was like, dude, I don't feel like going to Vegas. I really don't. Like I'm kind of exhausted.
Yes, it's a lot. It's tiring. I
think about it and I'm pre-tired.
Like we were talking about Mania earlier, and like a lot of like I'm trying to be in a bunch of places. It's a lot. It eats you alive, that city. I don't know how people live there. It's crazy.
Yeah. Also, thank you so much to Nicole for the super chat. Thank you. Thanks, very, Nicole. Very much, Nicole. It's very nice of you. Thank you. All right, let's see. Where am I at? All right, we got Dion here who says, what AEW WWE crossover dream match would you guys like to see? Minus Bianca Belair versus Chris Statlander. Ooh, mine would be oh my gosh, it has to be with like Will Ospreay, but Will Ospreay versus whom?
I was gonna say Kenny Omega. Mine has to be Kenny on, I think, on
Kenny and Roman.
No. I'm wasting my Kenny Omega match on fucking Roman Reigns. What do I look like?
What's wrong with Roman? Okay, fine. We never got Will Ospreay versus CM Punk, huh? No, they missed each other. That's a dream match. Oh, I know. Kenny Omega versus CM Punk.
Yes, that's the one, dude. Seriously. Why didn't you guys do it? I wanted to see it in this fucking company. I'm so mad it never got to that. But yeah,
we like Kenny. So close. So close.
Like it should have happened. That's the worst part.
Okay, so those are definitely.
But no, I probably would do like Kenny versus Seth, probably, to see like who's supposed to be the worker over here. Probably Seth Rollins, you know.
Yeah, that could be fun too. Yeah, there's a lot of great options there to be had, but
Mhm.
yeah, I guess those would be some of mine too. But yeah,
Mhm.
Bianca Belair versus Chris Statlander would be pretty sick. I'd love to
That's a
see
good
like
one.
Bianca and Mariah May. That
Mhm.
would be very fun. I'd love to see Mariah May and Tiffany Stratton just
Mhm.
for whatever reason. I don't know. There's a lot of crossovers I would definitely like to see. Chances are I'm gonna say yes to all of them.
Right.
Carlton Lineback says John Moxley versus Seth Rollins.
Never seen that one. That would be a dream match.
Ebony's onto something here. Braun Breaker and Will
Breaker.
Ospreay.
Mhm.
See, I'm here for that. I'm definitely here for that. There's some good ones in here. Some very, very
Penta
good ones.
versus somebody.
What?
Said Penta versus somebody.
Oh yeah, Penta. We got a bunch of dream matches. He just came from there.
2 feet down, Penta. 10 toes down, Penta.
Oh, I felt so bad for him.
They should start calling him 10 toes down, Penta. That'd be funny.
Oh no, that'd be terrible. It'd be terrible. All right, let's keep it going. The Death Riders. Death
What they
Riders
did.
Brawl with Jay White, FTR, and Adam Copeland. This was actually a fun way to get this. They didn't. Here's the thing. I didn't have a problem with this today because they didn't take over the show. The show did not feel like it was all about the Death Riders. They got it out of the way in the beginning, and I don't think we saw any more from the Death Riders later on. It was very quick. We had a brawl, fun way to start the show. Cool. Move on, call it a day. I loved that it didn't take up the whole show.
It felt refreshing, didn't it, Denise? It was like they're getting to it as soon as the show starts. They're outside brawling. They added some story elements to it where Jay White wasn't just out there looking like a dork. He had some friends. He had some backup. A good way. I mean, with what we saw a few weeks ago with Ospreay and Omega and the Don Callis family, we know that AEW fans like to start a show with the brawl. They like to see the wrestlers going through the crowd. So that's a really good way to start the show. And I thought that if they're not shoving it down our throat, it feels a lot better. This week, it didn't feel like they're shoving it down our throat. I talked about it, how like a lot of the brawl felt like Moxley and Jay White were going at it, but they're still teasing this Copeland and John Moxley match. So then they announced a match for Grand Slam. So I'm like, I'm guessing they're going with Copeland Mox at Revolution, but they're trying to get Jay White more involved in here. So that feels good.
Right. So they're going to do the tag team match, which is going to be Claudio and Moxley versus Adam Copeland and Jay White. I originally thought they were going to do Jay White and John Moxley at that Grand Slam show.
Yeah.
And then obviously Edge and John Moxley at Revolution, because that's happening. Like he already mentioned it. He already issued the challenge.
Happening.
John Moxley said no. Like it's happening. Like it's not going to happen.
I feel like they wouldn't put it in our brains if it wasn't going to happen. Like if it wasn't on the table at all, they wouldn't have had Copeland make the challenge. They wouldn't have had Moxley say no. They would have just ignored it. But the fact that they brought it up and they have it in there, it's probably going to happen at Revolution.
The Hurt Syndicate. We hurt people out there looking like $1 million. Bobby Lashley with a gorgeous emerald green suit. I'm not over it. And everyone's talking about Mariah and Toni. I'm still thinking about the freaking green suit. It was great. I want to wear that damn suit, Reg.
Not the same as Toni Storm, but this has been a couple of we can recall a few of our watch alongs and post shows, Denise, where Bobby Lashley had your favorite outfit of the night. Like if you were going for like that old Melissa Rivers and Joan Rivers bit of fashion on the red carpet.
Oh my gosh, Fashion Police with Joan
Fashion
Rivers
Police,
and Juliana Rancic and Kelly Osbourne. I mean, yeah. Oh my God, that was my show.
That was your favorite, huh?
Yes, during that time you could still talk shit and it was okay. Like you don't have to be politically correct. So they would talk.
Joan Rivers was not politically correct at all. She would burn someone down all the time.
Teenage Denise. Oh, I was having the best time. I was like, yeah. Oh, like that did not look good. That was like, she looked awful.
Yes, so if Denise was on that show, Bobby Lashley would be her number one person. He always has the best fits on. They always fit great. He looks like $1 gazillion. Yeah, this is a good bit for me. Last week we talked about the Guns had a promo talking about their return, and here they are face to face. As soon as they came out, though, I was like, damn, they're gonna get murdered. Like seeing those two guys, they're great, they're amazing, they're one of my favorite tag teams now. But against Bobby and Shelton, it's gonna be hard. This is gonna be their first defense. They're coming to murder you guys. Like the odds are not in the Guns' favor, but I do like that they are the ones challenging it. I do like that they're having tag team championship matches on TV, that they're trying to establish the division again. Everything surrounds it, I think, is great, but they're about to get dragged to hell with the Hurt Syndicate.
Right. I did like how they came across today. You had pitched on the watch along about putting them back with Jay White. And at first I was kind of like, oh no, I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm in a position where I'm like, you know what? When I now that I've had the thought, like the thought simmer just a little bit, I don't hate it only because I'm just so sick and tired of what they've been doing with Jay White. I'm so
That's
sick and
it.
tired of watching him get beat. From the first moment that they had Marina Shafir take out Jay White, that should have been our sign that this was not going to go
No
in any
good.
favorable direction for Jay. So now I feel like, yes, please get this man some friends, make him look like a featured part again of some sort of act instead of making him look like a side character. He needs to have
Right.
main character energy again. And if the only way to get that back is with the guns, I'm on board with that.
That's what I feel like it is. I feel like we're just like tired of seeing Jay White get his ass kicked, tired of him not having backup. He felt so much more cooler and main character. He had that main character energy when the guns and Juice were standing behind him, when he had the Bang Bang Gang. So I just feel like if he has them, he gets that energy back. We'll be on our way, you know?
We got Eat Sleep Super Chat Repeat who says, why couldn't Agent J from Money in the Bank? I'm assuming
Men in Black.
Men in Black. All right, not Money in the Bank. Neutralize the CCO.
Colorblind.
Money in the Bank.
Agent J from Money in the Bank. No. Mm-mm.
I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
Men in Black. All right. A good match, a really very fun match that we saw today. The Hounds of Hell now is what they're calling themselves. Brody King and Buddy Matthews took on Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher here. This was a freaking banger. Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, they get the win. I think this may have been my favorite match of the night, and I did enjoy Swerve and Ricochet a whole lot, but this was the meaty, hard-hitting stuff. I like that. I enjoyed what they did here, but more importantly, I enjoyed what this did for both teams. I feel like we're finally going to start seeing a different kind of identity for Brody and for Buddy. They're no longer going to be, sort of in the shadows of Malachi Black. Now they're going to be hopefully in the forefront. I know they took a loss today, but regardless, the match was good, so they didn't take a loss in my opinion. Plus, Takeshita and Kyle are going into this big match against Will and Kenny, so you're definitely going to want to see them pick up a W there. So no, man, I was so on board with this. I thought this made both teams look very, very strong.
Yeah, I think it's been really interesting with Brody and Buddy because Buddy, like, as far as where they kind of sit in AEW and how they feel, I feel like a lot of people are right now at this moment more connected to Brody just because of what he's done recently and kind of off the backs of what they did with Malachi. But like Buddy used to be in WWE. He used to be on 205 Live. He had like this already established, like we know who this guy is, but he's still, I feel, even with how long he's been in AEW, trying to show these fans he's more than what they think, trying to show that he could compete with the top guys. And I feel like this match and the last couple of things recently have been this coming out party. Like today, I felt like the match he was shining, like he was a big part of it. Like he felt like big, like he felt like this was his match to go out there and show you guys that going forward, he's going to be an inaugural part of this tag team. I really like just his energy and his confidence going into this, throwing those knees, throwing his bows, looking like a fucking action figure. Like Brody, I feel like Brody's there. He's like, one more spot, he's really going to be there, but like Buddy's trying to be right next to him. I think them as a tag team is such a great combination, and they could be the ones to beat the Hurt Syndicate. Like when I see them teamed up against the Hurt Syndicate, I'm not going to be like, damn, these guys are going to get fucked up. I'm going to be like, damn, these guys are coming to fight, you know?
I think this would be a huge win if down the road this really does bolster both Brody and Buddy as single stars, because I think Buddy to me has had, I mean, clearly he has the look, he has the skill. What has been the missing element for Buddy to be, the Kyle Fletchers, to be a Will Ospreay, to be a Pac, to be somebody that's just at least has had some sort of singles run? What is that one element that is missing for Buddy?
I think it's just because it's the he just haven't had enough singles matches. Remember when he had a singles match a few weeks ago and we're like, yeah, he's cooking, he's doing this. But then like it's kind of a gift and the curse because like he's in the tag team with Brody, and I think they're on their way. They're gonna be a great they could be the next tag team champions, but then that does take away from Buddy being a single star, which I think he has a lot of legs and going into. This is probably going to get him to bigger when it does happen, Denise. So I think this is going to work out for him. Like being next to Brody and continuously having these matches and doing these things, winning the AEW World Championship. When it is time for him to be the AEW Tag Team Championships, when it is time for him to be singles, then he's really going to be on his way, you know?
Yeah, I hope you're right on that. I really do hope you're right here. Let's see. Oh no. Eat Sleep Super Chat repeats says, why did Hulk Hogan move to Egypt to live in the Nile?
Egypt.
Egypt. I always say
Egypt.
Egypt.
What is Egypt?
Egypt. Egypt. Egypt.
Egypt.
I can't say when you're making me think about it too hard.
Egypt.
Egypt. What is it again? Egypt.
Egypt. To live in the Nile in Egypt.
Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm. I'm done with this shit. All right. We got, by the way, I want an update here on the Toni Storm photo. So can you guess where we're at now?
I forget the number that we were at.
So we were at 500 bookmarks last time. Mm-hmm. We're at 1,100 bookmarks.
Dude, what is going on?
1,100 bookmarks, 6,000 likes, 293 quote retweets or retweets in period.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Simple.
And then on Facebook, Facebook it's at 7 shares, 11 comments, 96 likes. So Facebook is still like slow.
It moves a lot slower than Twitter does.
We got Kid Cudi here who says, damn, Reg, you high-key hate WWE, huh? Anyways, just want to show love to Penta, who counteracts that lame tribalism from Reg earlier.
Yeah,
Reg,
this is the problem, Kid Cudi, is mine is not tribalism. It's not like I like AEW, so I hate WWE. I'm a longtime WWE fan. They made me hate them way before AEW existed. This is all I hate when people. It's not tribalism for me. I just don't like WWE because of what WWE did to me. So fuck WWE. I don't care. What do you want?
You're wild and Reg. All right, please note that is Reg's opinion. He is allowed to have his opinion. This is a democracy.
It's fake. It's sports entertainment. It's not pro wrestling English.
I'm gonna have to freaking beer. People are gonna make me bust out my Kim Jong-un, bro.
I don't care. They already think it anyway, so I might as well just really carry the flag for fuck WWE because everybody already thinks that.
But I feel like here's the weird thing though, Reg, and I feel like the times you have watched WWE though, I have felt like you've enjoyed some of what you've seen though.
Are we being real or are we being fake?
No, I'm just being honest. Like, that's my honest opinion of what I've seen you see. I feel like I'm not saying you maybe like the whole show, but
95% of the time, Denise, I'll keep it real. Faking it.
You haven't liked anything.
Faking it. All of it.
None of it. Not one thing.
I'll tell you one thing. One thing that I've liked in the past 5 years, Kevin and Sammy main eventing WrestleMania. That's it.
That was it.
When people are like, this is hot, and I go watch it, I don't like it.
Did you do you like the Cody Roman stuff?
Nope.
Bloodline stuff?
Hate it. Like, genuinely. I'm not even being like, it's not tribalism. Like, I don't like I don't think that shit's tight.
Is it too okay? So I'm trying to get to the bottom of this.
I like wrestling.
So it's too sports entertainment for you.
I like wrestling. I'm watching a wrestling. I want to watch a wrestling show. This is fucking Netflix. Before Netflix. Like, this isn't wrestling. This is a bit. And I like wrestling, dude. Like, so like, even like when they're like, this is the hottest wrestling, it's still not hot to me. Like, they're like, there's a hot Gunther match. I'm like, no, it's not. Because it's like it's in a WWE bubble. It's like, this is what wrestling could be, but this is what we make it. And I just can't get jiggy with that shit.
Right. So I feel like for me, and I've said this before, like when I watch AEW, I have certain expectations. When I watch WWE, I have certain expectations. I think for you, you might have the same expectations across the board.
Yeah. And this is 30 plus years of wrestling. This is 30 plus years of I was the biggest WWE fan in the fucking world. But
so
they
what changed?
Beat my ass down. They did this to me. They so many times disappointed me. But really the straw that broke the camel's back, October 4th, 2019. Brock Lesnar squashed Kofi Kingston in 9 seconds, and it was like I was starting to be like, I don't really like this shit. The Hogan stuff. The matches aren't that great. That was the nail in the coffin. That's when it was like, all right, this company will never be for you. They don't make wrestling for you. And that it clicked in my head that day. I was like, oh yeah, they don't make wrestling for me, and they've told me for the last 30 years this isn't for you, but I was just ignoring them. I'm like, oh, it's wrestling, but it's not. They're like, this isn't for you. This is not your show. Don't watch. Only reason I watch this fucking show is because I talk about wrestling on a podcast. If Rhapsody never started, I would have stopped watching WWE that day.
Which is crazy too, because when you do Grapsody with Phil, like Phil, from what I gather, enjoys WWE.
Big fan. He likes WWE. That's what's fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. He
So
likes
it is very, very different. And then you do the show with me, and then obviously, you know, I obviously support too and cover the product, etc.
Everybody that I know likes this, but I just cannot get jiggy with it. It's just not.
Yeah. Hey, everyone's different. Got something different for everybody. You know, people are gonna want me to like guillotine you now, Reg.
I don't want. That's why I stopped. That's the real reason why when people are like, "Hey, do the W," I'm like, I stopped covering WWE. Like, I stopped doing post shows. Sean Ross Sapp was like, "Hey, do you want to do the Royal Rumble?" I was like, the last time he offered, I was like, I can't do WWE shows anymore because of that. What Kid Cudi is like, I agree. I don't want to come on here and be a hater. Like, if you like WWE, I don't want to be like, you're a dumbass idiot. It's just not for me. So I just like have to, because like my co-host talks about it. So I'm like, yeah, me too. But in reality, I think that shit's terrible. But that's just me, you know. Who am I?
Yeah,
30 years plus of research.
All right, we got Eat Sleep Super Chat Repeat, who says, oh man, I can't even read all of this. The West Tyreek Tyson Trios lift. 1 Ty West, Ty 2 West, Ty and Ty 3, Ty, and West 4, Ty West, Ty 5, West Ty 6, Ty West, last Ty and Ty, a Kai and Ty tag team tribute. I don't know what I just read. All right, Kid Cudi also says, oh, bless your heart, you're delusional.
See, this is why I don't talk about it, because like this fool. Why am I delusional? I just told you why. And I didn't say you're a dumbass for liking it. I think you're okay for liking it. But 30 years, they've told me that this is not a show for me. That's it. And again, you can like it. I'm happy that you like it. That's the issue, is like we've gotten to this place, Denise, where these trolls are like, if you like that, you're dumb. I'm not like that. I hope that you like it. I want you to watch Raw on Mondays and be like, this is the best time. I want you to go to WrestleMania, put your hands up. Just, I don't. It's not for me.
We got Eat Sleep Super Chat Repeat, who says Reg just had an 8-mile free world moment.
I've been wanting to do this for a long time, honestly. I'm like, one day I'm gonna have to do this fucking rant.
You came out of the closet today.
I've been waiting to do this shit, man.
Wild. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's see, where am I at with the show? What haven't we talked about? Oh shit, MJF.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one there. This is probably, I think this is our last thing that we got to get into. MJF.
Yeah.
This was kind of unexpected. So obviously, you know, he's been beefing it with Jeff Jarrett, right? But now Dustin got involved, and Dustin basically came out and was like, you need to shut your mouth. I'm tired of you out here disrespecting my friends, primarily mentioning Owen Hart's name, as MJF has mentioned his name in the past. And also, he basically, told him that he was done with him talking about like making fun of Jeff Jarrett for having drug abuse problems, tired of him talking about other people's wives. And so this just kind of went on and on for a bit. During this, though, we had Max Caster run away from Hangman Page, who they had a backstage segment in the first place in the back, where Max Caster was kind of like being rude and interrupted Hangman Page. And so that kind of bled through into this segment. And so I think now it's like, 3 weeks or so, Reg, of MJF and Hangman Page interactions, not fully saying, hey, this is where we're going to next, but they have crossed each other's paths a whole lot.
Yeah, they've like planted these seeds on what the story could be. I love the segment last week of Hangman trying to go in the locker room with Swerve, but him not being in there, then walking past Max like, get out of my fucking way. I love that the energy that Hangman keeps giving up to Max of being like, get out, dude, why are you always in my way? Why are you looking at me? Why are you trying to get me involved in this? I'm not on this. Like, he came out today and he's like, move, Max. I'm trying to get to the other Max. Like, this isn't about you. And Max MJF keeps trying to make it about him. Like, Hangman's like, leave me alone. But Max is like, hey, look at me, fool. Today he was like, you're a hack, you're this, trying to get under his skin. And I love that Hangman's like, all right, dude, I'm gonna deal with you when it's time to deal with you.
Yeah, that's the thing that I want to get at. Like, we're out here being like, hey, we're kind of tired of seeing MJF feuding with Jeff Jarrett. Now, doing this thing with Dustin. We're kind of making jokes at some like age remarks of like, people on the watch along. We're like, oh, we don't want to see MJF. We don't want to see people over this age limit, right? Just, shits and giggles and whatnot, right? But at the end of the day, MJF is one of the biggest AEW stars. And this doesn't feel, these feuds that he's in right now do not match the magnitude of what MJF does bring to the program.
Exactly.
MJF should be in these feuds, in these storylines with people like Will Ospreay, Hangman
Amen.
Page, Swerve Strickland, hell, even Jon Moxley, as much as hate as he gets for the DeathRiders bit, at least that, those are the people that he should be, in that sort of, be there in those circles.
Yep.
This doesn't feel like it matches who MJF is. And this is, I almost feel like it started from the very beginning when MJF came back and his first feud, his first match for the pay-per-view was with Echiseto. Like, shout out to Echiseto. So happy he got that moment. Great. But that did not match.
That's not what Matt should be doing.
It's not what he should be doing. It just felt weird. Everybody had the same reaction of like, really? This is the match we're doing with MJF? This doesn't feel very, very huge. This is, I don't know, like it just didn't feel right. And so I feel like since then, sure, he's had some great moments in between that, the 1 hour match that he had with Will Ospreay. Great. And then the stuff that he did with Daniel Garcia, cool. But then, he went off to go do some Hollywood projects, cool. And so since then, I think we have been waiting to get back on the road again. We've seen MJF at the top of the, to be on the marquee. That's who MJF is.
I think that's the biggest issue that I have. Like, again, Jeff Jarrett, big fan. I like this guy. I'm happy that he's getting this shine and being able to talk in this however many years in the business. When Dustin Rhodes is walking down tonight, I'm like, I'm a big Dustin Rhodes fan. I think it's great. Gold does. He has one of the greatest AEW matches of all time against Cody. Like, yes, but you can't be walking down to try to walk down the franchise player here. Like, this is MJF. I don't want to see a 55-year-old man, 55-year-old man in here.
I don't think I would want to see a 15-year-old either, though, Reg.
Yeah, that'd probably be also weird to put 15-year-olds in there talking shit to MJF. But if a 55-year-old's talking shit to MJF, no matter what you say, I'm not like, I'm like, this guy's the franchise. This is all his. Like, you shouldn't be talking shit to him. Like, some of the stuff you're saying, but it would sound better if somebody else was saying it. Just because, like, what's the last feud that Dustin was in, Denise? Why should his next feud be with fucking MJF? That's crazy, ain't it?
This doesn't feel like it's going to be a feud, though. This felt like this was just, remember you were saying like, oh yeah, we don't have to have the Jeff Jarrett match because you can just kind of go on without it. I felt like that's what we kind of got from this Dustin thing. Like, it didn't feel like we have to see a match from this. It just felt like, oh, like, let me just try to beat some respect into this young guy who thinks he's the hottest shit, right? Like, that's what that felt like.
Why do old men keep talking shit to MJF? Why does somebody young try to take up for him?
Because usually, because think about it this way, right? If you, you are a certain of age, right? If you see someone younger than you, Reg, being like rude and disrespectful and, just being outright insulting, wouldn't you be like, oh, hey, you know what? That's not the way that you act. I know that you're, 21 years old, but this is not the way that you behave. This is not the way that you talk to people. I feel like older people are more likely to try to correct a young guy's outlandish behavior.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess so. I just don't like it.
A young person correcting another young person.
It's pretty rare. Yeah.
Right. It would be an older person being like, you need to respect your elders.
That's true. I guess I just don't really like that story.
I know, well, but that's, I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it. So
you make sense of it.
All right, we got Eat Sleep Super Chat repeat who says Mina Shirakawa and Shida should switch gimmicks next. oh, like Mariah and Toni. Oh, okay, I see. It took me a second. All right, Jimmy Jimenez says, hate to say it, MJF can't elevate people. Hangman can. I think MJF can. It just has to be in the right story.
Yeah. I think that's all it is. Like you're saying, it has to be the right story, if in the right context, right circumstances.
Yeah, I think so too, because I remember and I was really enjoying what we were getting, but it ended up, going in a different direction, right? I remember really kind of enjoying what he was doing with Ricky Starks there for a bit. It was very, it didn't last long, but I do remember liking that. But I think the thing is that MJF works more so with people who are already established that don't need to be elevated. I think that's the big thing. He's mostly worked with other people who are already big time, you know, like the stuff that he did with CM Punk, the stuff that he did with Bryan Danielson. Like these are already people who are already made and don't need to see that. And I think that the only reason it didn't happen with him and Daniel Garcia was because at that point, AEW wasn't sure if Daniel Garcia was going to stick around. So you're not going to have Daniel Garcia defeat MJF if he's not going to stick around. Yep. Had they known, I think, that he was going to stick around, I do think they would have kind of course corrected that story, especially given that MJF is going to be taking time away to go work on Hollywood projects and whatnot.
Yeah, I feel like he just hasn't been not in the position, but they just don't put him against people that need to be elevated. They always have him against people that are already elevated. He's the one that's usually getting elevated in the feud at this point. I think they should put him in more Daniel Garcia type situations and people that he could get over, but that's just not how they work. Like Dustin doesn't need to be put over. Fucking Jeff Jarrett doesn't need to be elevated. These are all people that are already up there, and maybe they should just focus on doing that to him. But like they have Max in a certain role in a certain way that they present him, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's got to be in there with the big stars. Like that's who he's got to be in there because that's just who he is. He's just a big name. So thank you so much to Jimmy Jimenez. And I think that's about it, right? We covered everything. Holy shit. Yeah, there was a lot to get into on today's show, but we did it. We got to it. And before we wrap things up, I want to give an update. Let's see where we're at on this Toni Storm thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, 7,600 likes, 1.4 thousand bookmarks, 300 retweets, and 119 comments.
Barely about to be an hour.
I'm going to get a whole $1 from Elon Musk for this. Woo!
Shout out to Toni Storm. You owe her a lot of money at this point.
Yeah, and it's been up for exactly, no, not exactly. It's been up for about an hour and change.
It's up. You knew it. That's why you put it up so fast.
What? I got the words. All right. Sometimes you do things because you got to do them. All right. It's the don't hate the player, hate the game.
All right.
Dan Jackson says, but for me, pro wrestling is sports entertainment. It's just like a family member I love and hate sometimes.
That makes sense.
I love how Dan equated it to a family member. That's not the way I was expecting Dan to compare.
That's what my WWE relationship has been. It's a fucking love-hate abusive relationship that I keep going back to, and I just don't want to go back to it anymore.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll win you back again, Reg, and then you're gonna be here being like, Denise, I want to cover blah blah blah.
No, probably
so and so won me over.
No.
Okay, so right now I would say the best thing for you is the NXT division because that's where all of your crushes are at.
Yes, good show when it's just that, but then the rest of the show, I'm like, this is a parody.
We got thank you, Dan. We got Lissa Hart here who says, do you think Hangman will interact with Kenny Omega at some point? Oh, they've got to. I mean, they've definitely been, saving, putting that in their back pocket right now. But at some point, it's going to have to happen, especially given how much Hangman has changed since the last time Kenny Omega saw him.
Yeah, I think Kenny Omega's there's a lot of feuds and a lot of people Kenny Omega needs to get locked into. I think they're going to finish the story up and we're going to get all that.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much, Lissa. We got Luke Thornton here who says, just got back from the show. So much fun. Awesome. Swerve. And hold on, what is HOH? HOH. Not hurts. HOH? What is HOH? Hold on.
Oh, Hounds of Horror or Hounds of Hell.
Oh, Hounds of Hell. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't, my brain doesn't see them there as that. I'm like, who's HOH?
HOH.
HOH. All right, Swerve and Buddy and Brody were the highlights, Luke says. Excited to see where Hangman and MJF goes. You see, notice how like everyone was vibing today with the show because we didn't have that much stuff with the DeathRiders.
Right. Yeah. Different. If you end the show with something that's high and people are into it, it's going to just feel different. And that's what it felt like today.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much, Luke Thornton, for the super chat. And I think that's about it, guys. That is our show for today. As always, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. I will be back on Friday to do the SmackDown watch along and then the SmackDown post show with Robin. And then I won't be here after that until next Monday for Raw. We do got Eat Sleep Super Chat Repeat who says some AEW fans are pissed off the GSA fiasco.
Oh, Grand
GSA.
Slam. Yeah, Grand Slam Australia.
Oh, why
Mhm.
are they pissed?
Because I was reading about it a little bit on Reddit. Some people feel like they were duped. They felt like, even though
Australian
AEW
fans?
never, yeah, they kind of felt like they thought they were going to get a pay per view, even though that was never really they kind of, everybody kind of built themselves up to like, it's going to be a big show. It's going to be all this. And like, it's not that. So like, they're kind of disappointed about it. You know what I mean? Like, they thought it was going to be a pay per view. Then it got moved to a different venue. Now they're going to be on Saturday on tape delay. They were just had different expectations. But AEW set those expectations from the beginning. At start, they were like, we're continuing our Grand Slam shows, and we all know historically, Grand Slam is a Dynamite or a TV show. You
Yeah,
know,
I spoke about that like several months ago here on the channel.
Mhm.
I said once we looked at the date, I'm like, it's on a Saturday and it's a Grand Slam. It's going to be Grand Slam Collision.
Yes, I thought that everybody knew that, but there are a bunch of people that are still mad about it.
Yeah, I think it was just one of those things, but I do get it because look, at the end of the day, AEW is a promotion and they do, and you're excuse me, they're a business. At the end of the
Yep.
day, they are a business. And the last thing you want to do is build any sort of mistrust
Yep.
with your client, which is your fans. They are your customer. We are their customers. And
Exactly.
you don't, when it comes to things like that, it's best to just be like, honest about it, right? Because okay, me and you, we were talking about it, we figured it out because okay, it's on a Saturday
Mhm.
and Grand Slam is usually Grand Slam Dynamite or Grand Slam Rampage. That's what they normally do. So to me, that was us putting two and two together, but it
Yeah,
shouldn't be like that.
you
It should
shouldn't
just
have
be
to. Right.
right. We shouldn't have to do that. AEW should
Mhm.
just flat out be like Grand Slam Australia. It's a collision on a Saturday, whatever, right?
Mhm.
Like just be outright about it.
And they've kind of taken a while to announce the card. Like usually you would think that the whole full card would be there by now. Like if you're a fan waiting, you don't even know what you're gonna see. So I understand,
But do
but
you think that's a situation of like AEW realized that they weren't selling tickets? So suddenly the show went from like, yeah, we're going to Australia to, oh, yeah, we're going to Australia.
that's what I felt like would happen. Like I felt like they were like, we got this big market, new market, we might go and kill it. And then the sales were kind of slow, and they're like, oh, okay, I guess we're going to Australia, but not like
But
we
that's
thought
on
we were.
AEW though. That's on them. They got to be
Yeah.
the ones to be like, hey,
Promotion.
we're gonna go. I mean, how many times did they honestly promote the Australia show before the tickets went on sale when it was the original venue?
Not enough.
They waited towards like when you practically almost got to it. So I do see
Right.
why the fans would be upset by that. And I do see
Mhm.
why, but I also see why AEW would not put any effort once they realized
Same
that they
time.
didn't sell out the first venue, which they should have though. It should have been
Mhm.
like constantly, in our face, nonstop. This is the show that is going to be coming up. Even if it's not coming up next month, you should just still be promoting it so that those people buy tickets.
Exactly. So there's on both sides, there probably could have been more, but it's all gonna work out. You know how AEW does. They kind of slow walk the dog sometimes, but when it comes to a big show, they could put on a big show.
Yeah, that's the good thing. That's the one thing. It's like you're gonna deliver on that end. So I do think that the fans that end up going to the show are gonna have a good time. I mean,
Right.
you're gonna get Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega teaming on the same
Mhm.
side against Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita, who are personally some of my favorites on AEW. So
Right.
all right. Thank you so much to Eat Sleep, Super Chat Repeat. And now I think we are a wrap for today. But before we go, Reg, where can the people find you? Where can they watch Grapsity? All of that.
Grapsity is going to be on live this Saturday. Me and Philip Lindsay, the Fightful official YouTube channel, talking all the stuff that Grapsity talks. And every Wednesday, I'm here with Denise doing a watch along now every week, talking AEW Dynamite, the most exciting time in the world. Appreciate everybody supporting. Appreciate my co-host Denise, and I appreciate y'all.
Thank you guys so much as always. And we will catch you guys here on the next one. Bye, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe. Bye.